stream this? I might as well, right?
Sure, why not? Hey guys, Ron Musgraves here, Pressure Washing Institute Contractors First. I am here tonight talking about the summit in Cabo San Lucas. I'm here with Carlos, Reggie, and Trevor Steele. Carlos, introduce these gentlemen, would you?
Well, you just introduced them, but I'll do it again, Ron.
Tell them who they are. What are they involved in? How are they involved in the summit?
Yeah, no problem. It's my pleasure. Actually, a lot of you know Trevor Steele. He's been around the industry, pressure washing industry, for quite some time, and he and I have grown pretty close. He's kind of a alumni, if you will, from the Summit Mastermind for many years, and I've just really had the pleasure of getting to know him and knowing his story. Be honest with you, both him and his wife Ashley, it's just amazing journey, and we're certainly delighted to have him coming into Cabo San Lucas to sit in the audience this time, but to talk about his company, some of the trials and tribulations that obviously he's encountered that I wasn't even aware of. So we're extremely grateful and happy to have Trevor with us. Reggie Brock is before we went live, I was actually describing Reggie to Ron, and I think the word dynamic came out of my mouth several times. And Reggie's passion really, truly, honestly lines up with the mission, if you want to call it that, of the Summit Mastermind, where he has a very unique way of bringing subject matters that we don't talk about a lot at conferences. And a lot of times those touchy, sensitive subject matters oftentimes get swept under the rug. And not even at conferences, it's at dinner tables, at team meetings, when you're alone at night working on budgets or doing, whatever you're doing for your company as, a founder. And when Reggie's name was brought up to be a possible candidate to speak at the summit, I just dove into the internet and tried to grab every single video, every single reel, every single Instagram post that he was on, and his passion, both him and his wife Con, just really brings certain elements that we don't talk about, not only in the pressure washing industry, but in any type of industry.
Yeah.
He has a very unique way of bringing this, I call it stuff that we don't want to talk about, stuff that we don't talk about a lot, that slows us down from that scale, and there's a lot of talk right now in our industry about scaling. Everywhere you go, every group that you kind of park yourself in the evenings, or when you have free time, there's something being promoted about scaling, and scaling is a good thing. You want your business to scale, but what the Summit Mastermind is doing this year is we're not producing blueprints. We're not producing budgets. We're not producing forecasts, marketing material, if you will, for scaling. What we're doing is we're talking to the companies, to the business owners about what's going on with them, their inner circle, their team, and their family before they scale or during their scale. And that's really the main focus this year with the Summit Mastermind. And I know, Ron, you didn't ask me to kind of dump all this stuff, but it kind of just led into it as far as what Reggie's talking about.
We're going to let you get it out because that's what the Summit Mastermind's about.
Well, I could sit here and Trevor and Reggie could chime in as well, but I really want to make a point about this because there's, and I won't say there's, an illusion or anything. This isn't just another conference. And I truly say that with all my heart, because I think this year we're addressing something that just isn't talked about, and it needs to be talked about. As business owners, we see these shiny nickels all the time out there, and we want to grab them and we want to jump on board, that movement. And a lot of times the business owner mentally, from a business culture, whatever the problems, they're not ready for that. They're not ready for that. And I think what the Summit Mastermind is going to do is we're going to have a very intimate, very personal discussion about these issues. Am I right, Reggie? Is that kind of what your pivot is in all this?
Yeah. And first of all, thanks for allowing me to be a part of this. This has been one of the kind of events I've been looking for years. I've had the privilege of speaking at a bunch of these, but they all look the same. And you've described them, so I'm not going to reiterate what you've talked about. But a lot of the messaging I've heard this really nauseated me about scaling growth. There always seems to be a tagline, whether spoken or not, that says something about if you want to be success, something has to be sacrificed. And I just don't believe success requires sacrifice that most of us have heard. I sat on a platform not long ago with a guy who just sold his business for $50 million. And that's impressive to me. But the part of the story that made me cringe was he said, and my children just had to understand I wasn't going to be there. I missed ball games but he said, here's the good news. Spend 6 years avoiding your family and giving yourself to the business, and you'll have the same kind of success I have. And I didn't even mean to, but I said, count me out while he was talking. Now, I'm not sure that went over real well with the organizers, but it made me think about it. Why are we trying to choose when you don't have to? And so
you're one of those guys, Reggie. You're one of those guys. And that's okay, because I like you, because these guys know I would do the same thing. I would jump up and say, hey, man, I'm not. And I agree. I concur. I would double down on that, because I tell these guys what I do remember about starting my business 42 years ago is I didn't see my kid's wife and know my children's names for about 5 years. And that was a mistake. I made that mistake, and I would tell any of these young guys now, I don't know if Trevor remembers this. I think I told him, don't do that when he was starting his young family, when he was just getting into the industry. And it's not worth it. The whole reason we're doing these things are to spend more time with our family, right? We're trying to get the time. So why would you miss that time?
There's another side to this, and this is the one I've always struggled with, and that's why my podcast is named Through the Noise. And I can tell Reggie would appreciate this as part of my story as well. I have 3 kids. My oldest is 16. My youngest is 11. He just asked me if we could go fishing in the creek tomorrow. And I'm like, take 3 seconds. And I go, yeah, of course we can. Yep. We'll figure it out. But for the longest time, I may have been here, but I wasn't. It was so hard. Business was so hard. I felt like I was drowning. I might have been in the room, but I wasn't. I was in 1,000 different places just trying to keep my head from drowning. And so I don't know. I like the conversation, Reggie. It's more than just finding the time. It's also finding the mental structure.
That is so well said. And because I look back over my wife and I have been married 37 years. And there's times I've been in the room, but I haven't been.
For sure.
And I think we create some of these false narratives because we're just like in somebody's presence when you're really not present. And I think you're right, Trevor. I mean, building a business is not easy. Like, it's not. and I get it. And sometimes, and what I don't want people to take from it is you do make mistakes. We all make them. And sometimes it's our family that suffers for that mistake. But the fact is, this is not easy. I think the level of intentionality is what decides the outcome. And so, I mean, hearing you say, yeah, let's jump in the creek. I mean, let's go fish in the creek. You know, the people who are who have helped me become who I am deserve the ride with me.
That's right.
They just do. And so I've not done this perfectly, 100% not. In fact, my wife and I, you know, there's been times that I know she had, you know, was not happy with me, and I made bad decisions and choices and put our family. So this is not like some talk about, hey, I'm the example. I'm not. But I've recognized now how I wished I could go back. I can't. So the only way I can go back is by voicing to the group, the generations behind me coming up, be aware, be careful, and be intentional. And so, again, we've been married 37 years, and I'm proud of that. But I'm also very mindful that I'm not trying to be the example, but I know the voice that needs to be heard to maybe correct some of this at a different level.
Good stuff. I like that, Dan. Dan says, speaking on scaling, I know many owner operators who have one helper that are extremely afraid of scaling. Will the summit help this type of owner? I'll answer that for sure, because
that's why I let you read it, Trevor. I was thinking of tonight, so I'll just let you go ahead.
I spent 15 years scared to scale. And it's, my good friend Dan Platta calls them the purgatories of business. And I think it's perfectly stated. You get to these certain levels, you get to 400,000, and then it's extremely difficult to bust through that number in the home service industry. And then you get to $1 million, and it's extremely difficult again to bust through that number. So it depends on your view of scaling. And like to Reggie's point, it depends on the lifestyle you want to build. I've had a meeting with a guy that came down from Charlotte with his son to hang out with me and pick my brain. And he was asking all these questions about scaling the business and growing the business. And my answer to him was, you're not ready for that. You need to figure out what you actually want out of this business before you even have that conversation. So yeah, Dan, I think these real conversations about what scaling actually is, and the purpose behind it, because you might say you want a $20 million business, but there's a good chance you don't want that lifestyle, right? And that's okay. Took me 23 years in business to finally say, no, I don't want a $20 million business, so yeah.
How many guys do we know that have a $2 million business that makes more money than the guy with the
I know, right?
I've been on 5 long vacations this year already, and I'm nowhere near millions. It's the lifestyle you want to build. Now, when my kids are gone, I don't know, maybe then I'll dial it in and go all in, but right now I'm enjoying it.
Thanks for the question, Dan.
Yeah, good question. So I think one of the things when you talk about scaling growth that is overlooked is there's some things you can't buy. There's some things that no matter how large you scale are just not buyable. And one of those is time. We can't do it. And, when you lose it, it's gone. And so time has become a commodity to me that has to be balanced around the growth I'm requiring of myself in business. I have to be mindful of time. I tell people this all the time. It's easy for me to get money from you than it is to get time. It is. Like with owners that I deal with, I'm not saying it's not an issue, but it's not as important to them as me asking for more time. Well, think about the people that, and I'm not talking about just your family, but people that you have working with you and how they perceive their time because of the commitment that they've made to you. And I think that's something to really be considered when it comes to scaling growth. And you said one other thing that I wanted to repeat because I thought was so good, Trevor, and that is, the whole idea about how do you, I'm not going to say it right. Let me Let me come back to that. I apologize. I'm old and sometimes I forget.
It's okay. It's okay.
Well, one of the things that I wanted to kind of, I won't say address or anything, it's just more in line with the conversation, is that, there's this kind of illusion, if you want to call it, I won't say illusion or mirage. It's just how it is right now as far as the culture with businesses, that if you scale, then you must be successful. And companies that are looking to scale automatically attach financial success to that journey. That's what scaling is I guess from a social media standpoint, is that if you're scaling, then you're making a ton of money. And what we're trying to pivot or talk about a little bit, dial into the discussions a little bit more, is scaling doesn't always equate to success as far as you and your inner circle. You don't need to make $2 billion or $5 million or whatever it is, whatever that magical number is, to be considered successful. There's a saying that I often use, is that I know some of the richest people in the world, and it has little to do what's in their bank account. And I think this is really, again, going back to what we're doing in our sessions, not just in the conference room, but the way that the Summit Mastermind is structured, is that our speakers and attendees, we're going to be shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow for 5 days straight to get to know each other. And again, I think the shift with the summit is that that's different than your traditional conference. Your traditional conference, you come in, you fly in, you check into your room, you grab your badge the following morning, and you're right into your sessions. And that's usually 2 days, a day and a half, or whatever. And then at night, you're meeting at the bar or whatever, just networking, exchanging business cards, and then you're back up in your room. And after the second day, it's closing remarks, and you're gone. And whatever you grabbed in those moments, you're taking with you and hoping to implement. And one of the things that Reggie brought up, that he spoke on, is that, someone suffers. The other thing about the Summit Mastermind is that the wives, the spouses, and the children that are attending the Summit Mastermind, they're going to be in this conference room. Mm-hmm. They're going to have a chance to talk about how their significant other's journey as far as the business has affected them. And we're going to give them an opportunity to maybe open up and voice some things that they go through. And I'm guilty. I'm guilty as anybody in my journey with not only New Look Power Wash from pressure washing, but also with EBC and my manufacturing business, is that the business was a priority. And my wife and my daughter, they just had to accept it and come along with the ride. And they really didn't have a voice. And that could be kind of difficult as a business owner when you have a spouse or a wife or a husband, depending on, who's running the show there as far as the business. You come home to an angry household. That's just a bad feeling. That's just bad. And then the next morning you're taking that anger and you're bringing it into your business now. And now you're spreading this negativity that you brought from home to your team members. Now your team members are having a bad day because the boss is pissed. And then when your team members are, feeling the brunt of Trevor Steele or whatever, the wrath of Trevor, and then that's going to spill over into your customers. they're going to do a crappy job.
We lost Carlos. Hey, Trevor.
I got
Do
it.
me a favor while we're getting him back. Hey, tell me a little bit about what goes on here. Hold on a second, Carlos. You guys horseback ride, ATV ride. You got a fishing trip. I mean, you've been to this thing enough. You know the itinerary. I mean, does that happen every time? Every time it happens? Is it all the time?
Yeah, pretty much every summit. I think we still have Carlos, by the way, but every summit has been amazing. And actually, Carlos, I wanted to tell you, I think it's better. I know the room availability kind of messed up the scheduling, but as soon as we get there, we're going ATV riding. Like that's the first activity we do. I think that's pretty cool. So we're going to get to know each other before you have to sit down and listen to us speak. Then the next day, what is it, Carlos? Next day is snorkeling.
No, the next day is actually marlin fishing, tuna fishing.
And can you believe this question, Carlos? Because we can't even deny this from this guy. Literally everybody in his family is in this industry. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Who is that? I've never heard of that guy.
He's got the whole family and 2 compounds.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Tony's a dear friend. It's just top notch.
So basically, we're going to be hanging out, spending time together, doing really cool stuff in Mexico for 3 days, and then we start the conference. So I thought Levi sounds like an expensive group therapy session. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Okay, so maybe if you don't need it yet, you will.
Yeah, no, we're going to get to know each other. It's I think our icebreakers are pretty cool compared to your traditional conferences. But I do want to go back to the marlin and tuna fishing because it's actually a special time. This year we have 2 private yachts, 50-footer or 60-footer private yacht, private chefs on both yachts, cooking breakfast and lunch for everybody. It's just a really, really great time. The snorkeling, the scuba diving, the physical fitness activities going on in the beach every morning, the slides, the water world for the kids, the caffeine connection that jumps off every single morning before the sessions. It's just really a very good energy that is going on prior to us going into the conference room. So when we go into the conference room, we're not shaking hands anymore, introducing ourselves.
Yeah.
So it allows what we're doing. Exactly. It allows what we're doing in regards to the topics or the sessions to be more open and to be more honest.
So if I'm getting this right, and it's a really good layout, like you're saying, Trevor, everybody gets to go ATV riding. Everybody gets to kind of get familiar with each other, their family. And I mean, even that dynamic, right, brings a little bit more of a, you want to use the word closeness, intimacy, whatever the case is. People get to know each other and it kind of breaks that barrier. Because you know what the funniest thing is? Every time that you hear about an event, right? What do you hear about the best thing of the event? The best part of the whole event?
Hanging out at the bar.
It's the lounge, right? So what we've done now, or what you've done, Carlos, not we. Carlos, you've done is you've taken the lounge, not that there's not lounge time. I know y'all get in the lounge too, but you've taken the lounge time and you turned it into activities and basically socializing amongst people, to kind of break that barrier, feel that there's a trust, feel that they can share, because that's a true mastermind, right? I mean, if people are all putting their heads together, and people that are, not necessarily where you are at, but sometimes where you're at or where you came from, you can help the guys that are trying to get to where you are, or the guys that, you're having trouble getting to where they're at. I mean, that's what it's all about, making that magic happen amongst those people, because I don't think people understand when you go to these events, it is the most powerful tool. I mean, the most powerful tool. I mean, you can get golden nuggets and stuff from certain speakers and strategies and ideas, of course, and there's people that do that and do that for a living. But you're saying that the biggest thing is you're going to build relationships with other people that not only during the event, but after the event, and I'm going to ask you again, Trevor, I'm going to go to you, buddy, because Carlos runs the event. So he's going to lead into this question, however it is. I want to get somebody who's been to the event. So afterwards, you've made so many dynamic relationships that you can just pick up the phone. What do you got? 10 or 15 people after going to this event that you got on speed dial that'll answer your phone and help you with just about any question that you need?
I've got, as many times as I've been, I've got a dozen people that I would call lifelong friends now.
Wow.
That I would call on their cell phone and they would answer every single time. And these are people that anybody in the industry or any industry would highly respect. You just don't get that and I'm sorry to say it, but at the Huge or any of these other conventions, because there's no downtime. Like, we're in Mexico. We have 5 days in Mexico. Like, you either go hide in your room or you bump elbows with the people you want to learn from, and you do it for hours, right? Like, you don't feel like you're rushed. I got to ask him this. I got to ask him that. Oh, I got to ask him about performance pay and this and that. And then 20 minutes goes by and you didn't figure anything out. You can pick 3 major topics in your business, show up to this conference, and have almost every question answered, guaranteed. And if you didn't have it, you're going to have their cell phone number.
I was going to ask you this question, but I'm telling you, I don't think that I'd ever move this event. But have you ever thought about moving it? I don't think it would be a great idea, because I think then the event would lose its luster, and you'd probably have 500 people show up, and then it would lose that interest. I mean, it really would.
Yeah, the Summit Mastermind has never been designed or established to be big. It's small and intimate. We start our room blocks at 20, 40 rooms, 50, 60. We increase as the registration comes in, but we cut off right around that 50, 60 occupancy rate, or occupancy as far as the resort is concerned, and we shut it down. And the reason for that is that once you reach a certain pinnacle of numbers, you lose that intimacy. We're using that word a lot here, but you really do. And for the speakers, it's tough for them to be able to spend the quality time with these individuals, on a boat or on the beach or at the pool or at dinner or whatnot. When you have 5 or 6 different people kind of, tugging their shirt saying, hey, come talk to me next, it becomes a job then for them. And we want our speakers to enjoy themselves as well. And the pivot here is that not only are our speakers giving, but the attendees are also communicating with the speakers. And there might be something that an attendee says something to Trevor or to me or to Reggie or to Clint or to Jonathan or to Mike or to, whoever, and the light comes on. Here's a story. So we had, and I won't name who the individual is, but some of you may know him. We had a gentleman attend the Summit Mastermind a few years ago, and he was just hungry. Well-established pressure washing business, but he was just really ready for that scale, that bounce. He was on that launch pad. And he met one of my speakers there, and they promised each other that they would stay connected after the conference. And just out of that connection, this gentleman now is, I think, in 2 or 3 short years that he went down the path with one of our speakers. I think he's 17, maybe 20 million. And it was just an encounter. So you never know what type of nuggets you're going to get from not just the speakers, but the people that are attending. We have people that are registered for this year's Summit Mastermind that, if you want to throw numbers out, yeah, there's 8 figures, 7 figures in the pool, but we don't park that out there. We don't promote that as, this is why you need to come.
Well, I've remembered what Trevor said now, and that's so applicable to this conversation flow right now. He used the term real conversations. That's an art form that's been lost. We're so casual in conversation. It has no depth to it. Generally, it's all on the surface. And the thing I'm really interested in is the real conversations that come out of this. Agree with me or not, I think the sage model, the sage from the stage model, is fading. I do. I'm not saying it's gone, but I think that there is an opportunity to move the one-to-many message to peer learning. And that's kind of the opportunity I think that comes out of a setting like this is I feel no pressure. I don't generally, but in this case in particular, I feel no pressure. I mean, I'm going to prepare and I want to do the best that I can. But at the end of the day, I feel like I'm going somewhere where I'm going to walk away with as much as I have gotten, as much as I've given.
No doubt.
And that's the play for me, is like, my wife is a social, I'm warning y'all, she gonna track you down. She's gonna know your name. She's gonna know your spouse's name. She's gonna want to hang out with your kids. And if you're close enough, she'll babysit if you just ask. And so, but I'm not generally that guy. I'm usually the guy they bring through the back door, get up there and do my thing. And then they're trying to take me to a booth or a table or I just like the feel of being able to know this ain't about me. This is about us. And how do we give to and take from one another equally so that we leave with a sense of real conversations that have happened and it's impacted my life? And so that's what I'm really excited about, is like, how do we have these real conversations and our life slows down enough to be able to have that? I think that's exciting, and I think it can't be overlooked. I mean, I can't wait to marlin fish if I don't get sick. I can't wait to do a lot of the activities. But at the end of the day, that's what I'm really looking forward to, is to cross paths with people that have treasure in them that is available to me if I would just have the real conversations.
It's this, what you just said, Reggie, is exactly what Brandon Vaughn from hirebus.com mentioned about the Summit Mastermind. And Brandon has been a speaker on many occasions at the summit. And one of the things that he talked about as far as his experience with the Summit Mastermind was that connection with people and the relationships, and that those relationships last for years. And you never know when that connection, something from a business standpoint, may blossom. So it's the way that that we're looking at. If you're looking at the Summit Mastermind through a different lens, then that's what we want. That's our mission. That's our goal. We're not trying to compete with the other conferences out there that are working on budgets, that working on blueprints. I tip my hat off to everybody that takes on that endeavor. What we're doing is we're addressing some things that we tend to kind of leapfrog over and try to get to scale before we address what's really going on with our business culture, with our life, with our mindset. And that affects us. The other thing too, again, we touched on the family unit. We talked about, the spouses and the wives, and they just don't get that airtime at all anywhere. And at the Summit Mastermind, they're going to be given an opportunity to talk, on what they go through, because they sacrifice a lot as well.
A lot of couples in business together, right? They do things. Are you and Betty in deep together with business now, or does she still do her thing? I'm just curious.
Who, my wife?
Yeah.
Oh, she's retired, man.
Okay, so she's involved in your business now more than
yeah.
There's no retirement when you're married to an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't exist.
She spends the money.
Well, there you go. That's a motivation.
Yeah.
You know, You know, Reggie,
That was
we were tossing around words, right? You're a sales guy, and so I just hit on AI, and I think this is an intimate event. I mean, we might be a little worried about that word for reasons that we shouldn't be, but you can have a closeness, a connection, affection, bond, championship, tenderness, warmth, emotional connection, personal connection, deep connection, togetherness. But I think that there's one word that fits this, right? There's just one word, and it's trust. You know, because until you're never going to make a sale, and I don't think people understand this, and I think you're the sales guy. People are going to buy from people they trust, period. And you're going to have the connection, the intimacy with people you trust. I mean, you're not going on the first date. Your wife or your future wife is not taking you out on a date until she trusts you. I mean, that's the bottom line on the thing. And I think that's what you guys are. I think that's what you built here, Carlos. I think you built an event it is an intimate event, and all those other words fit the event. I've seen the interaction. I've seen the videos. I mean, they are different, Reggie. You said it was a different event at the very beginning. I don't know if that was in the green room or on the thing. It's a different event. It's not an event and it may not be an event for everybody, right? I mean,
I'm not even sure calling it an event is fair.
It's a summit, and it's a gathering of folks that are truly like-minded and really sharing their experiences.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say to those of you on the fence or the ones that are coming, if you're coming, keep an open mind, be honest with yourself and the people in the room. Don't try and posture and put yourself on a pedestal and act like you're better than everyone else, because you're not going to get anything out of it. You need to go. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm going to go there. You're going to hear my story and you're going to go, oh, okay. So he's not a big deal, right? He's not doing great things. He's still struggling just like everyone else. And that's just the truth, right? I still go to these events because I need friends that are going through the same things I'm going through to help me navigate it, to figure it out. And I know it sounds like a therapy session, Levi Fajardo, whatever your name is. I don't really like your attitude, but
hey, stay away from the negativity, Trevor. Come on.
But I mean, it is kind of funny though. He's making some funny comments. But I mean, you're gonna go to this event and you're gonna keep an open mind and you're gonna ask the hard questions and you're gonna get the right answers, because if everybody's in an open setting, I mean, it's life changing.
I think that's interesting from a couple perspectives. You talked earlier a little bit about trust. And, trust to me is built in 3 layers. And I refer back to my time my wife and I were married. I saw her the first time, but we didn't get married the next day. Like there's this time and so as I think people prep to come, I think Trevor makes a great point, and that is just come open. Like, we don't need to get married. We just maybe need to start a relationship that blossoms and blooms over time. So the way I believe trust works is I like you, I love you, I do. And like, that's the way it worked for me and my wife, is like their attraction was there. And you're going to come to this conference. I can already see it now. I'm going to be infatuated with some of these people. I'm going to be like, man, I want to be best friends. But we're not probably going to be able to do it overnight, but you lay foundation, and the foundation that you begin to lay is what's built upon. And if you don't come with this over exaggerated need to be whatever, but just come open and willing to give. Here's what I've found. People who give first always receive. And if you just come into a room and all you're looking for is to get all the free snacks, or you just want to have a conversation and you need to take something from somebody, golly, this might be rough. But if you come with this notion of, hey, I'm here to give, I'm going to pour my treasure into somebody else, whatever it may look like, and just wait for the right time, I think it'll lay right foundation. That's what I'm excited about. I know this sounds kind of like a child talking here, but that's the way I feel. I have this level of excitement and anticipation about that. Like just knowing that I'm going to really probably, unless I talk Trevor off a ledge tonight, we'll probably sit down and have some coffee together. We'll have conversations around. That's what I'm looking forward to. But the expectation should be, look, whatever happens, but I'm coming open. And I'm wanting to start something that may have legs to it. Might not be in 5 days, but my God, we're laying foundation to build relationships that create the trust it's very, very difficult to break.
Where do you get these kind of vacations? That's actually a write-off. Actually a write-off for that price point. You don't. It doesn't exist. So if you go just for the vacation and the write-off, it would be worth your time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, that's the other thing these guys don't realize. I mean, it is. It's a write-off. I mean, if you want to go to Cabo, San Lucas, and you wanted to write the thing off, this is your opportunity, right? I mean, hey, anybody ever come and never attend the event, Carlos?
When they were hungover, yeah, plenty times. I could think of one in particular. He was actually a speaker.
Too much tequila, huh? Yeah.
Remember that one, Carlos?
We had some of those events. Marco's not watching, but we had 2 guys in Phoenix never come to the event. They woke up 2 days later. They missed the whole thing. But, hey, that happens sometimes, right? The reality of this is, guys, we're 40 minutes. We said we were only going to do 20 or 30, so we're 10 minutes over. I was going to ask you what your guys' passions are, but I don't think I need to. Carlos is definitely passion for the summit. I see, Reggie, you got the psychology of sales down, and I can almost bet that's what you're doing this for, because you want to help people be better sales folks. Trevor, I know why you're here, man. Why are you here, Trevor? Because I want to hear why you're here. I just want to hear. I want to hear
why what you think. I'm way more interested in that.
I'm here doing exactly what Reggie says. I'm giving, because if you give, you will receive it back tenfold. Nobody believes that, but they wonder how I've been around for so long, and I keep giving and giving and giving and giving, and I keep doing it. There's got to be some truth to that.
Do you want Trevor? Do you want me to answer that for you?
Well, yeah. Let me tell you my version first. I'm stepping into a calling, to be honest with you. I felt pushed by God to do these kind of things for a long time, and avoided them. You know that about me, Ron. I'm not big on getting on stage and talking to people about who I am, my story. I'm a major introvert. I'm good on camera because there's nobody here. Right? It's just I'm in my office right now. There's nobody here, so I can pretend like I'm not talking to anybody. Yeah, right. Nobody's here. But Carlos, I'd love to hear it. What you got?
I think. Well, I won't say I think. Trevor is probably one of the most compassionate and giving individuals that I've come across in a long time in this industry. And his story, not a lot of people know what he went through, what his wife went through, and his children over the last couple of years. And more recently, the fire that he had at his facility.
Yeah.
And the thing that really strikes me with him, as far as his moral compass is concerned, is he's always has a positive spin about the setbacks, and uses those setbacks as a platform for growth. And he's always come out bigger and better and stronger.
Eventually.
Yeah.
This is the
other side of that coin, if you want to call it that, is his wife, Ashby. And I've had an opportunity, both Betty and myself in past summers have an opportunity to talk with Ashby, and she's one of the cornerstones of the strength of that family.
No, she is the cornerstone.
She is the cornerstone, and that support, and not to just kind of blow smoke here,
But this goes to the core of why we do what we do. A lot of times it's the solo guy, the business owner rolling into the conference and doing their thing and not talking about anything except business. And things go on in your personal life that affects your business. And if you say it doesn't, then you're lying.
Yeah.
And these things drag us down. And the thing that I've seen and witnessed with Trevor, and this is why he's speaking. He didn't ask to speak. I reached out to him. I said, you need to be here this year. It's just an amazing story. And I look at what he was up against, and I would have tapped out. I was like, hell, I would have been gone. I would have been done. I would have been finished. So these, and everybody in the industry, everybody that's watching, everybody out there in the internet, everybody has that story. But there's no platform, there's no opportunity to talk about it. So that's my spill with you, Trevor. So I apologize.
I want to quickly.
I get excited with this stuff, man, because I just dig the shit out of just seeing people.
You want to field these
do what
last
they do.
questions, Trevor, or not? And by the way,
Yeah. Go
a
back
nice
to that last one.
testimonial for you, Los. Robert said you absolutely have every part of his success. So that's a very strong testimonial right there. For sure, helping him out with the gas stations you did years ago. I'm sure it was years ago. I don't think it was recently. I'm sure it was. Robert's been around a long time.
Long time.
This question is sort of funny and kind of will lighten up that heavy stuff that we just had, because this is kind of a funny question. I'm surprised you didn't ask if there's any hot chicks coming.
Let me tell you this, Birdie. There is a the answer to your question is absolutely. There's a place for you. There is a family pool, and then there is a not family pool.
Oh.
And the not family pool might be where you hang out.
Okay.
No, Brody. It as far as the sessions are concerned, tonight we talked a lot about the unit, but it all boils down to you as an individual. It doesn't matter if you're married, engaged, single. The things, the nuggets, the topics, and the interaction that you're going to have, not only with the speakers, but with other people at the Summit Mastermind, is going to resonate with you, not only as a man, but also as, more importantly, as a business owner. So there's absolutely crossover. This isn't just a married couple type retreat. And again, a lot of people say, oh, it's just a vacation. No, it's not. It's we purposely structure these activities for a reason, and it does have a purpose.
So before we leave, I need to correct the record. I am not going to be the sales guy there, Ron. Mike, who's with Top Rep, would blow me out of the water. He's that guy.
What's your passion then, man? I'm curious.
Say that again.
What's your passion? I'm curious.
Yeah. I mean, my passion is, I was raised in a preacher's home, and I'm going to condense this. So I saw people care my whole life. My dad chose others over himself, and it just got into my system. And so really what I feel like my calling, based on like what Trevor was saying, is how do I help people try to travel this journey of life, struggling with issues, overcome, removing barriers so that they can actually find fulfillment, satisfaction, success that they're looking for in life. And, we've got tool sets all available to us, but there's just people who struggle with thinking I can get up and try this again, or I can do this. I've got confidence in doing that. And we're trying to build these groups across the country to where people are not walking alone. And I think that we're just better together. I think no matter what you're looking at, and our world has become so fragmented and we're so far away from each other. And I think as we kind of pull together, create synergy and collaboration, we're going to be able to accomplish things in a greater capacity, whether it's our family unit or the businesses that we're working in. It's just the way it works to me.
Let me close something out before we do something, because I can just by reading the comments, people think this is a therapy session and that, it's maybe they're thinking it's not structured with the topics and things like that. But I've been to a lot of events for a lot of years, and I'm telling you, you don't get the information you need by listening to a 45-minute conversation about performance pay model, right? There's zero chance you spend 45 minutes listening to somebody on stage and understand it from start to finish. So when you go to events like this and you spend 5 days, literally, my challenges to you is pick 3 things that you want to improve in your business, three topics or subjects, and come and dial that in while you're there for 5 days. You can get people's opinions from all over. It's going to be so much easier, so much more efficient than going to some conference and trying to figure out at the bar. It's not that. This is so much more than that. You're going to walk away perfecting something in your business if you intentionally choose to.
Carlos, what are the dates again? Just to close this thing out. What are the dates?
What is it? The 29th?
The 29th to the 4th.
Yeah, August 29 to the 4th. No, September.
September 29th through October 4th.
Super duper, man. Man, I got to tell you, I don't have any. It's got me closer to coming, but
come on.
I don't know. We're gonna see. It really is. It's an amazing.
You need a passport.
It's an amazing event. It really is. Yeah, I got one. It's an amazing event. It really is. Guys, I'm gonna let you guys say adios. But in closing, I'm gonna play this little clip at the end here. So if you guys don't hang out, that's okay. You don't gotta hang out. I'm going to play this little clip from Carlos, and then I'm going to end it after I play that clip. So you guys want to say your goodbyes right now?
Appreciate y'all.
You're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I say goodbye now, but I look forward to seeing all of y'all shortly. This is going to be a great, marvelous, wonderful trip, and I look forward to meeting all of you.
That's awesome. And I want to tell you guys, thanks for coming, man, and thanks for coming out, Carlos, and doing this. Looking forward to see this event go off without a hitch. It's going to go off again. And thanks for coming out, all you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Business owners, entrepreneurs, if you are looking to not only scale your business, but also to get connected in a very serious and emotional way with your family, and I want to invite you to the Summit Mastermind. And the reason why I want to invite you there is, number one, we have the nation's top salespeople, mastermind strategy individuals that have a proven track record to not only take your business to the next level, but also to plot out a course for your business for the following year. The second part of that is the family unit, involving them, encourage them to be part of this growth, part of your journey, part of the offers that we provide with our venues throughout the world, the Summit Mastermind. So if this is you and you're tired of being tired, click the link below to learn more, and I'll see you at the next one.
You guys all
Appreciate it.